Howdy dorks! Howdy. How's it going? It's Unchowder. We're crafting, we're streaming, we're doing fun stuff. We're being hounded by our cats. That's definitely a thing that's going on right now. But hi. Oh, and I didn't turn on. There's a lot of things I didn't turn on. We need our dorks. We need our little dudes down there, don't we? Anyway, welcome to day number 2 for building a funky mask. Hooray! This will be fun. This will be the part where I show you like my actual technique for making the mask itself, right? This will probably be. This is the part that's hardest to explain, I guess. The video will be definitely helpful for explaining how this process works. But also we're gonna, chill and listen to music and hang out and have a good time. Hopefully. I was just running around getting all my stuff figured out. Don't bite me. I have a dedicated microphone over there. I've been I fiddled with all of its filters and stuff. I think it's okay. Tell me if not. Hopefully this one's okay still. Tell me if not. But geez, I'm just changing everything now, aren't I? That's how that works. I was also, I don't know why, the thing that I'm using to connect my phone camera to my computer is a little bit funky. Specifically, trying to get it to connect in the right orientation has been weird, because my phone has auto rotate off, right? My phone does not rotate its screen when I rotate the camera by default, because I turn it off. I don't like it. I don't like the auto rotate in most contexts, so I turn it off. But this app in particular does its own auto rotate thing in a way that I cannot turn off. Cool, right? So I can't turn off the auto rotate, which means like getting it set up into its little arm thing and plugged in means I have to be really careful about how I hold the phone so that it actually comes through in the right orientation. Because once I like plug it in and clamp it in, I can't change anything. There's no options to rotate the screen or anything. It's just what way is the screen oriented. Anyway, long story short, it's mirrored for some reason. It's backwards. It's straight up backwards. I got it oriented the right way so that down is down, but it's mirrored. And I have no idea how that happens. There's not an option for me to mirror it. I don't know how I would do this on purpose. So that's cool. There's like, is that what it is? Oh, I found it. Okay, I found it. These buttons aren't labeled or anything. Okay, so then I think, yeah, I'm gonna zoom it in a tiny bit, and we'll do like that. That'll work for us. Okay, I think I'm set. Anyway, hi. I was just running around trying to get it all set up, and I was wearing a long sleeve shirt. And just in the process of getting everything set up in the last 20 minutes, I made myself all sweaty, so I went and changed. Not that you care. I guess this will be good for not getting hot glue all over myself. Anyway, let's talk about why we're actually here today. Do you want to move? Okay, let me grab the thing. Okay, so this is what we're working on. This is what we made last stream, the papercraft part itself. We made this whole thing in one stream. It was great. Go check that out if you want to know how to get this far. But now that we've gotten this far, we want to replicate this thing out of foam. Hello, gonna lurk? Okay, cool. Lurking's good. I'm gonna chat to myself then. I'm gonna treat this as if someone may want to come back through these VODs and follow along. So I'm gonna explain myself in maybe a little too much detail. But there's also music, so you'll just be there chilling. The first thing that you'll notice is that I have modified this a little bit. The papercraft pattern as out of the bag. Be around more later. Cool, sounds good. The stock pattern itself was a little bit different in this corner. It kind of came out like a little bit further, and it had like a 90-degree angle that came up this way. And then there's like this little hole here, like a little diamond-shaped hole. And I was talking with the person I'm making this for, my partner, and we were just kind of discussing how it looks and, you know, tastes and stuff like that. And we altered it a tiny bit. I did the same thing with the skull, the deer skull. There's a couple little alterations in there just for taste reasons. Because I wanted to. That's what it came down to, right? So we did the same thing here. We tried this side. This is what we tried first. We went straight from like there's this cross support piece here. We went straight from here to up to this corner, and I was like that doesn't look quite right. So instead, there is a little corner here in the original. If I can hold it like that. So we're just gonna go straight from this corner straight up to this corner, and we're gonna ignore this hole. I'm just gonna ignore it. You can do that if you want. It shouldn't be too hard to deal with. The main thing is that putting the vinyl in that area, getting it to wrap around and be all nice, might be a little tricky. Things like the eyes and stuff, we get away with. I mean, you'll see. But when we're putting vinyl into these holes and whatnot, each of these faces will be different pieces of vinyl, and that helps us get in there and cover everything properly. But with it just being a hole with one face, like this would be one piece of vinyl, it's gonna, I mean, I think you can do it. I think you could do it. It just might be a little tricky. But, you know, you'll figure it out if that's what you want to do. But for this mask, for this person, for this stream and this project, we're gonna make it look like this. So I've already gone ahead and modified our little pattern piece over there. I reprinted the pages for the paper craft, and we're gonna cut out some, but not all, basically one of each. Like we only need half, right? Because it's symmetrical. So we're gonna have one of each side, essentially, plus the middle bits. We're gonna cut those out again, and we're gonna use those as pattern pieces for our foam. And then we're gonna hot glue our foam pieces together. And we're gonna use this as a jig. That's probably the best word for this. I keep calling this like a pattern, or a prototype or something. I think the most accurate word for how we're gonna use this now is as a jig. We're gonna be using the actual angles that we have on this paper craft is gonna help us get the angles that we need in the foam. That's the main thing. Yeah. I think that's about all you need to know for the moment. The other thing, I did a little bit of experimentation with markers. So we got our foam, right? Here's our foam. I got a nice big fresh sheet. This is 5mm EVA foam. It's gonna be huge for the stream. I feel like I should just chop it in half. It's not gonna fit on my table over there. What was this? This is $17 worth of foam. That's probably the most expensive part of the whole thing. Actually, the vinyl might be similar. But either way, you end up buying more than you need. We're not gonna use this whole sheet, pretty sure. Yeah, this is just your standard top-notch brand EVA foam. Got it from Joann's. Doesn't need to be super fancy. And then I have a hot glue gun over there, a whole bunch of hot glue. And then we have a straight edge, and then we have some markers. That's about all we're gonna need for today. There will be some more fanciness later, but for today, I think that's gonna get us going. So I'm gonna move over there. I'll make sure that I get everything moved. I have to mute this microphone and blah blah blah. But here we go. Then in theory, you can hear me here, right? Yeah, I mean, it's lighting up. I think you can, and you can see me. I think I got it. And I want to get my chat over here, obviously. Oh, if the light is better with light, that's awfully bright, isn't it? Maybe we'll do without. Here, can I join my own stream? And it's gonna give me an ad. Okay. Oh, and I can't chat, so I think I can see your chat. I'm pretty sure I can see your chat. But you know. Okay, so here's that. I'm gonna put this down here just to get out of the way. Oh, and I can show you the vinyl. We got the vinyl, so this is what the actual outside is gonna look like. Get some good light on this one. I don't know if I can actually show to you exactly how iridescent and holographic this is. See if that actually shows up on camera at all. This is gonna be, let's do like this. No, it kind of just looks black there. You can get a little bit of it. You can kind of see. You can kind of see. The idea is it's a dark color, but it has a lot of really fine holographic rainbowy aspects to it. So it's in the dark, it's going to look basically black, but in the light, it's going to have a lot of really cool reflections coming off of it, and that will be cool. And that's the point of the thing. So yeah, here's our pattern pieces. We're going to cut out some of these. Here's my alteration line. You can see it came down at this corner, and I'm just going to go straight across like this, and then we're going to ignore the little hole there. And then here's my little test swatch for our markers. Because my goodness, the last time when I did the deer skull, I was using a metallic Sharpie, is what ended up being, and I killed like 2 Sharpies in just the one project. Something about the foam really dries out the Sharpie tip to the point where it becomes completely unusable very, very quickly. And I got really frustrated, so I bought a handful of different markers here and did a test. So what I got was, so I did this test so you don't have to. I bought way too many markers. Don't do this. But I think number 1 and 2 are going to be our winners here. This is number 1 is this one. Is our shimmering metallic ink. This is a metallic brush pen by Zebra. Yes, writes on dark paper. I guess so. The main thing, it's very similar to a Sharpie. It's got a very fine tip point here, but this tip is a lot more flexible. I'm not going to touch it because I'm going to get ink all over my fingers. But you know, like a Sharpie tip is quite firm, right? Even like the fine tip ones, they're quite firm. And the main thing is you don't want to be digging into your foam as you're putting lines in and such. You don't want to be you want the pieces that you actually end up with should be perfectly flat. There's a couple of pieces on the deer skull where I would cut like the left and the right half, and they'd be really similar to each other, so I'd mark it with Sharpie, like with an L and an R. And just that act of taking the Sharpie and pressing hard enough into the foam that it made a mark, like just that act of, just making a letter, trying to go over it once or twice to make sure it actually was visible because the Sharpie was dying. That was enough to leave a little gouge in the foam that is very, very slightly visible through the vinyl. There's no way I can show you on camera. The camera's not going to pick it up, but if you see it in person, if you hold it in the right light, you can see the very occasional L and R, like on the forehead. It comes through just a tiny bit. It's not so much that I want to like redo it or fix it, but it is enough that I want to avoid it on the second go around. So finding something that you can make a nice legible line with that you don't have to press in with is the main goal here. So I think I'm going to try with this first, our shimmering metallic ink marker. But number 2 also worked very well. This is quite a nice line. This is a liquid chalk marker, a bistro, I guess. And you can see it's got a much more broad tip, obviously, but it's got kind of this firm felt. I don't know what you'd call that. The kind of a Sharpie material to it. And it made a nice clean line. All of these I just kind of used the edge of a piece of cardstock like we're going to do to see how well it follows that line. And both these two did quite well, I thought. These two, not so much. This one is a solid paint marker, which I've never even heard of before. I'm sure it has all sorts of neat uses, but it's like, it's literally a piece of solidified paint, which is so strange to me. It's very soft, like this is, like it's tacky even. And it kind of comes off on my finger just a tiny bit. It's got this little protective tip. Whoop, there it goes. But it, you know, it doesn't, it can make a mark without pressing too hard, but it's not making a very good mark. Like it's only, you know, partially visible. But also, it's like a piece of chalk. You're not gonna get, it's not gonna maintain its point, right? As you use it, it's just gonna get duller and duller and duller, and the line that you make is gonna get wider and wider and wider. And that's not really ideal for this, right? So I'm gonna ignore that one. This other one that I got is whiteout, which I thought was gonna be cool, because it's shake and squeeze. This is, you know, Bic, whiteout, whatever. But it's got a little shaky thing in there, and then this bulbous part here you squeeze, and it's supposedly you can just kind of squeeze out some whiteout onto the paper. But again, it has like a little ball tip kind of a thing, so you have to actually press down. You have to put some pressure on it for anything to come out. So it's going to leave all these gouges in your foam. So for that reason, and because it, you know, it didn't even come out all that well, I was expecting it to like leave a nice bead or something, but it don't. So we're gonna ignore these two. I'll put them away in the land of things that we're not using today. I guess this goes there too. But I just wanted to make that known. I haven't always had the best luck with figuring out how to do that, so that's how I think you do that. Anyway, we can just kind of get to it at this point. I'm trying to think, where are we gonna start? If we look at our thing itself, when I look at this, I see an easy half and a difficult half. I think this whole, like, it's two halves, right? We made this half and we made this half, and then we put them together. We're going to do the exact same thing with our foam. We're going to make a skull half, we're going to make a face half, and then we're going to attach them. And the skull half here is going to be the easier half of the project, because there's going to be a lot of weirdness in here, right? Look how thin this piece is. This is going to be real fun up in here. The eyes are always really fun. I guess that's kind of the extent of the hard parts, but this is essentially just a big misshapen sphere to some extent. So it's going to come together a lot simpler. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to start like top middle, or even, yeah, like we're going to start with J here, and then probably these two front ones. And I want to start with, you know, 3 at least to start with, so that their geometry together will kind of define their angles. And then we'll use our jig here to kind of get them in place. We'll hot glue them in place, and then we'll just keep going. So in order to do so, I want to find J, right? I'm just going to cut these out as we need them. But see, here's J. You can see it's got, you know, 50 and 54. And then I also want these two panels, which are not part of J. But it looks like these are part of, they're going to be different, right? It's going to be H and I think is what it is. Here's I. No. Is it on J? No, J just has this. Okay, so I'm looking for the numbers. I'm looking for a 50, a 54. Is someone calling me? I'm just getting texts. I hope that doesn't jar the screen too much if I get little notifications on my camera. That's a cool thing to think about. But I'm looking for like edge 41, right? Here it is. It is on I. Okay. So the other one's gonna be H. And H is here. There's 41. Okay. So I'm going to cut out, like, literally just those 3 faces, essentially. So there's that. And then here's our straight edge. And then here's our X-Acto. And I think we're good. So then, yes, J. Yeah, J. And I'm not going to cut out these tabs. I'm going to cut, like, I'm ignoring, we're not going to be doing any folds. I'm literally just cutting out this shape, right? And that's going to dictate the shape of our foam. I'm going to get fairly precise here. Closer you are early on, the less you have to fudge later, right? We're just gonna cut this right out like this. Right. Like such, and then we just punch it out, and that's all I need. At least off of that page for the moment. And then I'm going to do these 2, right? It's got 41, 50, 40. Yeah, so that's this side here. I'm going to leave everything attached to the page until I need it, just so it's easier to keep organized. And then whoop, pops right out, and then that goes down here, and then same thing with this piece. Is this enough light? I don't know. I never really know how to do lighting, especially in this silly apartment. So I can turn on the lamp overhead. I can get some more room light in here. I don't know if that would help. No? Okay. Oh, there. I'm gonna start there. I'm even gonna be safe. I'm gonna not stab myself on stream. Do my best. Now, I just need some foam. Let's see. Is there an easy way to get to my foam on the desk? Take off the big sticker thing, so it's not in the way. Miss the trash can. This up here. Just cut off a chunk. I'm just gonna cut off a desk-sized chunk here. Get a third of it. I'll get us pretty far, I think. Ah. This whole setup is not really ideal, but you know. This is where I'm at right now. The last one, I did the skull mask, I did on the kitchen table and on the floor. We have a big cutting mat type surface. So I'm just gonna come up into the corner here, I guess. You haven't seen me. I'm not gonna come right up to the edges, right? I'm gonna give a little bit of buffer here, because it's kind of difficult to cut like right up to a corner like that and keep things crisp. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of an edge there. I'm going to take our big pin. I'm just going to trim this out. I'm gonna be as precise as I can within reason, you know. I don't really care about like the thickness of the line or the precision of the outside of the line. I'm going to cut as close as I can the inside edge of this line. I'm going to be as precise as I can with those cuts. Like I'm not going to cut in the middle of the line. I'm not going to cut on the outside of the line. I'm going to cut on the very inside where the silver turns to black. That's my line. I am going to be fairly precise about that, or at least as much as I can. The more precise you are now, the less you gotta fudge later. And I'm also not going to like share lines, right? And you'll see why in just a second, because we're not going to cut these straight up and down. We're going to cut these on a bias. I'm going to cut a little bevel into them. So we want to, and they're all going to be beveled like away from each other. So we want to keep that in mind, I guess. Maybe I'll go down. Work. Hope these markers last, because wow, marker is great at the moment. Making a really crisp line. We're also going to be careful about not getting these screwed up, right? Not getting them mixed up. Especially when you're working with like symmetrical pieces. I might do my, mark them as right or left with this pen, because this isn't making an indentation at all. So we have marked our first 3 pieces. And even is right and left. So if I want to say, let's be consistent here. I'm going to say it's right and left as you're wearing the mask. So this is left and this is right. Means the one with 58. No, I'm looking at the wrong one even. But still, the one with 55 is going to be our left-hand side. I'm going to do very, very lightly an L. And then I'm going to mark the R. I'm going to do it like that. The other thing you can do is kind of like keep, like, when you're stashing things over here, you can kind of align them how they're going to actually go. So that's our initial construction. So now I'm going to cut out these pieces with a pair of scissors. And this is part of the trick. I'm going to cut very precisely on the inside of these lines I just made. There's no... yeah, I think that's perfect. Did it? I wonder if it even, like, eats... It does make a very tiny indentation. I swear I didn't press down at all. Maybe it kind of dissolves the foam a little bit. Yeah, be very careful with this. You might make an indentation even without pressure. I didn't even think of that. But this will be fine. In theory, we're cutting off all of the silver here, except for the marks we make inside, obviously. So that won't be a big deal. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut along these lines, and I'm going to hold my scissors at an angle. And the angle itself, it's tempting to try and like put the correct angle into each of these faces. Don't do that. That's a waste of time. All we're going to do is we're going to make like the biggest angle we can. So I'm going to hold this like at a 45 even. Something around 45 would be good. So I'm gonna get my point lined up here. I'm gonna kind of get lined up, but I'm also gonna hold, like you can see I'm twisting, right? I don't know if that comes through. And I'm holding it like this. Yeah. And that's going to put an undercut. Like this top face is going to be larger than the underside. And that's what we want. And so I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to hold it at as much of an angle as I can. I'm going to slowly cut, and making sure that the edge of the cutting surface is going along that inside edge of our line. Like that. So you can see I cut off all of our marker. All of our marker's gone. And now there is this undercut on this side. Did I do good? I think I did okay. It's gonna have a variance to it. It's not gonna be super precise. The main thing is you do want like this top edge to be kind of precise, and you want to have as much of a cut in there as you reasonably can. That's what we're looking for. So I'm gonna go around, and I'm gonna cut out these pieces, and yeah, I'll show you the pieces once we're done with them. There's that. try to get it on camera for you. You also want to avoid, picking up the scissors and putting them back down again. You can do it in like one clean cut, even if you go slowly, but do it in one motion. I'll give you your best line. You also want to make sure you're going the right way. I think it's probably easiest to go either clockwise or counterclockwise for each cut, and depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, but you're only holding the scissors in one direction, not like going backwards like this would be, I think, at least. Cut along here like that, and then this last one, it's chopped off like that, and there's a piece. And then if you look at it, hopefully this is apparent. There's the underside, here's the overside. So you can see we've gotten rid of the vast majority of our silver, right? There's a tiny bit there where I just went into the line just a tiny bit. And then on the underside, has that kind of bevel to it. I don't know if there's a best way to show that to you. Can I? Trying to. Yeah, you can kind of see. You can kind of see. It's not huge, but it's there, and it's all we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for our other two pieces, and then we will glue the three of them together. And then we'll do it over and over and over. Try to keep on camera as much as I can here. It'll get easier as this piece gets smaller. Go. We can chop that off. This. There we go. There's a piece. And a little bit of wobble in there, but I think it'll be fine. There. Perfect. I find having a really sturdy pair of scissors helps for that. I have like another pair of just, you know, normal scissors where the blades, I don't know what you call these, a pair of scissors, but I have another pair where they're not as thick, they're not as robust, and it kind of bows a little bit as you're putting that strain on it, as you're like, even just the foam wanting to return from that bend is enough to put a little bit of a strain on the scissors, and that can add a little bit of inconsistency in your cuts. So like the thickest, sturdiest pair of scissors you can find are what you want for this. So now we have our 3 pieces. Now we have 54, 54, 50, goes like this, like that. And then we said left is this side, so that goes there, and that goes there. So now, if I take these 2 pieces, they have this cut, they have bevels on them, but if I were to put like, if I put their actual faces together, their actual thicknesses, like this is how they want to sit, with this real nice angle here. And that's even, and if you look at our thing here, that's an even steeper angle than we need, which is perfect. But what's going to happen is it's going to end up, instead of being here or, you know, perfectly flat like this, it's going to be somewhere in between, and we're going to have a nice little channel in there. You can see a nice little gap, right? Maybe. And end up with a little gap between where the tops of the faces are touching. There's a nice little channel in there, and that's where a hot glue is going to go. And yeah, that's how it's gonna work. So and then we're gonna use our jig, right? I'm gonna say, here's how our pieces are gonna go. And even do a little test fit. Of course, now I chopped more off of one side than the other, so now our jig is uneven, but that's fine. Kind of what I'm gonna do here, getting started is a little bit tricky. But I'm mostly gonna take our 2 pieces here. I'm gonna kind of eyeball about where this angle is, and I'm just gonna put 2 little dots of hot glue in here, kind of, you know, top and bottom. And as that is still drying, I'm gonna put it back up here. I'm gonna let it sit here, and as the glue kind of sets, and that'll kind of put our angle in a very, you know, in the neighborhood of where it's supposed to go. And that's how it's gonna work. So then let's take this. I'll even just do one side, I think. The little bloober there, and a little there. See if I remember how this works. I'm gonna get the top sides kind of where they go. I'm gonna, you know, make sure the glue is on both sides, so push them together and kind of bring them back apart a little bit, I guess. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm just going to do that. And it's just going to sit there for just a second, right? The glue is going to harden just enough. It's going to put those pieces kind of where we want them. I got these corners top and bottom lined up. Our midline here looks pretty good. I didn't splooge any glue. You might end up with glue coming up in between those 2 faces every once in a while, but don't freak out. We will probably get a couple instances of that as well, but it's not the end of the world. The main thing is to not like freak out while it's wet and try like rubbing it off. If you get a little bead, I'll show you if it happens. You get a little bead to squish up between your 2 surfaces, let it harden, let it cool, and then you can take a blade and then you just run it right along the surface here, and you can just chop it right off. And it'll usually pop off real easy. Of course, my tablet doesn't want to stay on. But we didn't do that. We're good so far. So now if I take this, it is glued a tiny bit to our mask or paper. But that's such a small amount of glue that it's not a big deal. There we go. Popped off. So now there's only a tiny bit of glue in there, but it's already holding its shape. Look at that. Look at that. I didn't have to measure anything. It's just I wanted that angle, so I made that angle. That's all you gotta do. And you can see this still has a bit of flex to it, which is good. And those two little tack points, think of it as like a tack weld, I guess. That's all I'm gonna do here for the moment. I'm gonna attach it to this piece, and then when we get like a good chunk of this done, and all the pieces are kind of meshing with each other nice, we'll come back in and we'll fill in all these channels, and they'll be nice and rigid and lose a lot of that, not all that flex, but all the flex that's in the edges themselves. They'll kind of fasten everything together real nice, and we'll do that all at once towards the end, or in stages through the thing, I guess. But for the moment, that's all we got to do. So same thing here. We're gonna kind of eyeball what that is. Yeah. I can even these two, this angle here already is already kind of determining that angle, which is great. It's exactly what we want. We want the geometry to define itself, essentially, not us like trying to set in angles, because that's way fiddly. I'm gonna do the two sides, and I guess I'm gonna do the middle. I think that makes sense. Just a couple little dots. And then we're gonna press it together. Yeah. I'm gonna give it just a second to kind of cool just a tiny bit. And make sure that our top edges are all flush. Okay, so I have a little bit of a splooge, but I'll show you. I'm not gonna freak out about it right now. I'm gonna place this over here. I'm gonna make sure it's kind of sitting right. Right, you know, like all three surfaces are in contact with our jig here. And give that just a second to cool. And that's what we're doing. I'm gonna do this for a while. This is the process. And it'll go faster than you think it will. And it's easier than you think it is once you get going, once you get an eye for it, or even just a feel for it. Once you feel the foam and how it cuts and how you have to kind of handle it, it's gonna work out real nice. Again, it's stuck a tiny bit. That's fine, it pops off. And you know, got our little hot glue strings everywhere, but that's fine. But now look at that. That is already holding its shape. It's already exactly where we want it to be. There's a tiny gap here. Where, you know, one or both of these lines aim out a little bit further than I wanted it to. So I can very, very faintly see through some of these lines, right? But that's also fine. And then there's a tiny, I'm not even going to clean that up. Such a small amount of glue came up through this surface here. But it's not even going to show. It's not even visible. It's not like sitting above or anything. It's just kind of at the surface there. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. But like a lot of these, like you can see these edges aren't perfect, right? They're pretty dang good, but there is just a tiny bit of there's a tiny bit of waviness in there, and that is fine. Like this amount, I'm confident that any variance of that size, you can even kind of see through. The vinyl will hide all of that. Especially because we're going to end up with like the edges of the vinyl will be on these edges and overlapping just a tiny bit. It's going to be fine. It's all going to disappear. So yeah, there's chunk one. I'm also going to save these pieces. We're going to use these pieces later for the vinyl. And I'm also just realizing I didn't have to cut out the one, did I? You can cut out one piece and then use it upside down, and that would be fine, but whatever. I'm mostly just going to set these aside. And then looking at our piece, we have these 3 pieces. I think I want to do out like this. I want to keep us as circular as I can. I don't want to go like all the way front and all the way back or something like that. It's going to get like the more circular your thing is, the more rigidity is going to have. So let's do these 4 pieces next. Right. So then this is going to be, I think part of this is J and then part of this is going to be I, and I'm only going to cut like the I half of this, and then we'll just flip it upside down. So yes, we're doing I. We're doing the part with 55. Is that right? Or maybe it's J. Here's J. This is we cut out the part that says J, so I'm gonna mark J so I don't forget. But we got 28, we got 55. Okay, so it's just these 2 pieces. I'm just gonna cut out these 2 pieces. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And then we repeat. We're gonna repeat until we're done. I kind of told you all my tricks already. That's all this needs. It'll just slowly take shape. You'll check back in an hour and magic will have happened. Magic's already happening. I'm in the midst of magic. Okay, so there's that. And there's that. Perfect. Yeah, okay. So then we're gonna cut these 2, and then we're gonna flip it, and we're gonna cut those 2. That's where we be. You do have to keep an eye out for pieces like this. This is a real triangle, right? It's almost symmetrical. I bet you these 2 sides, like this looks like an isosceles triangle at first glance, but it's probably not exactly. So you really want to make sure you keep track of which side is what on pieces like this. So mostly what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little mark on the triangle itself for where this 28 is, and that'll kind of remind me that the part on the piece with the mark correlates to the number. That's kind of the method I ended up with last time I was doing this. But you do whatever allows you to keep everything in order, right? There ain't no rules here. I'm just doing what I'm doing. No one told me I could do this. No one told me that this was a thing. I just went and did it. That's all you gotta do. As one of my favorite YouTubers says very frequently, look on no computer. Don't be afraid to try it. And I love that so much. We're not afraid to try things here. We're just gonna do things. What's the worst that can happen? You screw up one of these pieces, you're throwing away 50 cents worth of foam. And yeah, you avoid that if you can. But it also ain't that big a deal. I'm just gonna flip it. We're just gonna do the exact same thing. I did also print these out of cardstock again, and that is very helpful here. If it's paper, then it kind of using a marker against the side will kind of make things weird, right? It'll get all wet and wrinkly and weird. Whereas with this, like, I can actually press the side of my marker up against the side of this cardstock. It makes a real nice clean line. There's that one. I'm just gonna make a little line, be my mark. And then this is also our left piece, right? I'm just gonna very, very faintly, because now I'm afraid of making a mark. Just very faint L. And then I'm gonna put our last piece over here. There we go. And then since my little 28 mark is not on this side, I'm gonna make sure, figure out where that mark goes. So I'm gonna mark it, but I'm not gonna mark the R because, the side that isn't L is R. And then same thing here. This is our L. Like that. That's all it's gotta be. Now we're gonna cut out these 4 pieces. Can you see all the marks I made? There you go. Yeah. That's all it's gotta be. I mean, don't even gotta be that. This is how I'm gonna do it. A little wobbly, but it's fine. We're going to introduce some imperfections to this whole thing because we are imperfect creatures working with imperfect materials. It's all going to add up to an imperfect face-looking object, which is exactly what it needs to be. Yeah. There's one. I'm gonna toss my stuff on the floor. Don't worry, I'll clean it up later. Almost cut into the next piece, but I didn't, so it's fine. Sitting at a funky angle. And that, and then there we go. Yeah, it's it's okay. There's maybe a little dog leg there. But the other nice thing about putting this bevel into all these pieces is that if your line here wavers a tiny bit, it doesn't have all of the thickness behind it, backing it up. So if you have 2 pieces that are, just a little bit wobbly, you can essentially just smush them together, and you only have to smush, a very tiny bit of the very top part of that line, and they'll kind of meet up together, and it's generally fine. there's more give to this than you might think. Like, what am I doing? Here's one. You might not see this cut, whatever. You know what I'm doing over here. I also find it helpful to come like as far back on the scissors as you can, basically. A lot more control back here. A lot less flex in the scissors as well. There. There. 4 more pieces. So, go like this. Ourselves put back together, essentially. So we're working on. Can you see my pieces over here? Yeah. Right. So this piece is this piece, which makes it go here, and this piece goes like that. So here's our two L's, right? And that goes there, and then I'm going to mark my little mark here with that number there. That means it goes like that. Ta-da! So I'm going to glue these 2 pieces on. I'll start with this one, I think, and that's kind of it's a pretty, I don't know what angle it is. It's not sharp, but it's not shallow either. I'll do another 2 little dots. Right, and then kind of double checking that I got everything right here. I'll line up if I can. I'm gonna smush the glue around a little. Make sure my corners are aligned as much as I can. I'm gonna place it and make sure we're basically there. Yeah. So now, kind of inspecting, looking, making sure everything's there. There we go. You can tell that it stuck a tiny bit, but I'm going to let it cool just a little bit more. There we go. It'll pop up a little bit better as it cools a little. As long as it's not like a giant goober. Don't go overboard. This is a very, very light touch with the glue here. So now we're going to do this piece here. Yeah, right. Maybe like that. Might even just start with like this long edge. Do a dot and a dot. And same kind of deal. I'm gonna get the glue in there. I'm gonna make sure our corners are lined up. And there's not glue on this edge over here, but I'm kind of making sure everything, like the angles will line up. I do have some glue peeking up over, but we'll fix that. And I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna use our jig. Exactly what it's for. And make sure I got these angles correct. Yeah, it essentially. Gonna press these together, make sure there's no big gaps. And then I'm gonna do another little bit of glue here. Maybe just one out here, one in here. Lining up my corners. I have to put a little bit of tension in here to make things line up, but that's fine. That is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to press until I'm confident that it's going to at least stick. And I come back over here. And yeah, look, we're still good. It's pretty comfortably there. Look at that. We're making progress. I think it's probably good. And then these are setting up just fine. I think that's fine. I did get two little tiny bits of glue. See if I can even show you how tiny those little glue blobs are. You can see one here, right? Yeah. It's splooged up just a tiny bit. But all I'm gonna do here, now that it's nice and cured, right? It's cool and it's not splooging all over the place. I'm just gonna take my hobby knife. I'm gonna do kind of a slicing motion. Slice it right off. And pull it off when it gets to the very end. And then there. Same thing with this one. Slice it right off. Perfect. Oh, look. Gone. It's just gone. By the time we put vinyl back on top of all that, you will never know. It's totally fine. I'm even gonna come a little bit of a tail left on that first one, so I'm gonna come from the other side. And then, yeah, there we go. Good. We're good. That's all I gotta do. And then now we're gonna repeat that over on this side. So then I have my mark. My mark goes in the same orientation, right? So it's gonna go like over here. I can tell that my little corner up here is not perfect. Waviness in my scissor cut there. That's fine. I'm just gonna make sure that this back edge lines up. And then that weird corner is just gonna get kind of smushed in there. And then, yeah, let me make sure things even. Right here. Yeah. Yeah. I think good. It's all nice and snug. Again, the closer we are now, the less we have to fudge later. But also, the fudging is fine. You can see, you know, my one corner ended up a little bit long. I don't know if I can... One day I'll get good at showing these things to you. But I'm just gonna shove it in there. The great thing about foam is that it has quite a bit of give to it. So it's just gonna get shoved in there. Might even cut it. I do like this. don't know that it matters. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna give it a little slicey slice. Oh, it doesn't... I don't think this is smart. I don't think this is how you do this. But I kind of scrunched it down some more. I didn't actually slice off a piece, but I scrunched it in there more, so maybe that's fine. That fits better. Okay. Maybe that's how you do it. But same thing, just two more dots. Our glue gets smooshed around. There our corners are lined up. Make sure our top edge is even. And that everything lines up. Yeah. Here. So, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, it's sitting up a tiny bit, but I mean, we got our shape. This is really pretty close, especially for just tacking everything in place here. We're leaving enough flexibility in all of these seams that as the pieces come together, they'll kind of self-correct. Making sure this front corner lines up as much as possible. Like that. A little tacky back there. That's fine. Yeah, look at that. So now here's our underside. You can just see we have all these nice little channels between all of these faces. Just a little bit of tack glues in there. It's holding this all together. And on the top side, it looks nice and geometric. Just real crisp lines, real flat shapes. And any imperfections in here, most of them are just going to get hidden when we put the vinyl over it. It's all gonna be good. It's all good. Cool. So there's those done. I'm gonna put those over here. So now where do we go? I think we want to go back a little. I think we want to do like these three. Those are nice and chunky, right? They'll give us some good shape, I think. But I can see, you know, if I place this here, it wants to sit up a tiny bit. But not so much that I'm worried. Less than a centimeter. We're gonna do K. Just I want to face this. Okay. And here's K. I'm just gonna do the middle and the two right next to it. I think that makes sense. There we go. Perfect. Of course, I didn't need to cut out both. I just need one of those. Someday I'll remember that. I guess to be consistent, let's ditch this one. We'll do like the left side of all of these. Try to keep it consistent in some way. Yeah, and then we're gonna cut out these 3 pieces. Goodness. Tablet Y. Okay. Just kind of slot these in here. I really hope this marker holds up because it is perfect so far. There's that. Yeah, I think this will work. Then I think I'm going to be able to distinguish these two from each other without having to mark left and right. So I'm not gonna. The main point is that you actually flip it and don't accidentally cut the same piece twice. I've done that only a few times. Alright. How am I doing this? Here we go. Well, that was safe. You'll be fine if I don't do every single cut on camera, right? We'll do something tricky when we get to any convex corners. I think that's not going to happen today. I think this whole skull part is, or convex. When we get to a concave portion, we will be a little more tricky. But we'll do that when we get there. I think today everything should be just kind of a big funky sphere, right? There we go. Here's number 1. There's that one. It seems like holding as close to the scissors as you can to stabilize, like holding the piece itself, I think is probably the way to go. Even like I want to hold here, and I'm, you know, turning my scissors, and I'm even kind of pulling the piece this way just a tiny bit, just to keep things snug. There we go. Same thing here. There. I did it. Now we have these three pieces. We're doing, okay, we got our left piece, right? Blam, and then blam, and then blam. And I think we're gonna do the middle first. It's kind of tempting to do little sub-assemblies, right? Do these three pieces and then glue there, but I think that's a trap. I don't think we actually, because then you're trying to align the weirdnesses from this one to the weirdnesses of this one. I think we want to keep adding to this piece. So then I'm gonna just check what our angle is here. It's a pretty flat angle for this one. I'm gonna flip them both over simultaneously. Ooh, little dots. And then same kind of deal. I'm gonna line up our corners. Work that glue in there. Get the top edge all even. Wow, that... Very carefully. Over here. I'm gonna press down a little bit because as our part kind of wants to come up off of the jig a little bit here, just a tiny bit. So I'm pushing down a little bit with just a tiny bit of pressure to make sure that I'm actually in contact, especially with these two surfaces. That I'm actually, you know, transferring that angle into the glue as it cools a little bit. Now we're good. Now it's obviously got some give, but it is right where it needs to be. And we're just gonna do the same thing here. Gonna fit right in there. You can see getting this corner lined up might be a little tricky. We're getting off just a tiny bit, but I'll kind of shove it in there a little bit, and that'll kind of make up for it a bit. Which side should I do first in that case? Maybe I do this bottom. Maybe I do the one that wants to be further off. I'll do that first. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do my two little dots. And get it close. I'm gonna at least want to get the glue to touch both sides. Flip over and not get my fingers in the glue. And then just get things as lined up as I can, really. And it's not gonna be perfect. Definitely not gonna be perfect, but I can get it pretty close here. I'm gonna push gently yet firmly. It's gonna splooge a little bit of glue, but again, that's not the end of the world, because we can just fix that after the fact. I'm gonna try and get these corners lined up as much as I can. Like, especially with these corners, like we got maybe like what, 4 pieces coming together. Those corners can be a little tricky just to get to line up nicely, but I think we're in okay shape here. Again, it's just character. It just makes it look more authentic. And then this line, like, look, that corner, this corner is lining up just fine. Gonna get some glue in here. And then some at the outside edge. Little dots. And then, yeah, lining it up, mushing it together. Like, we don't even really need at this point, because it's just, there's only one place for it to go, and that's where it belongs. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of let it go. There we go. Cool. And then we have a couple tiny splooges here. I think that's probably fine. Another trick that you can do, I should get like an actual proper soldering iron or something, but you can kind of reshape hot glue just by remelting it a tiny bit. So sometimes if I'm desperate and I just need to like smush some glue around, I'll use the hot tip of the hot glue gun itself, and I'll just not pulling the trigger or anything, just pressing the metal part of that nozzle against the glue, and that'll kind of melt it just enough for it to be, you know, flexible again, and it'll move around to your liking. Yeah, there's that, and now we're just gonna do this piece, right? Same kind of deal. Probably gonna be a little. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to push it in a little bit, but not as much. Like, this corner's already looking better than the other side, which just means it's gonna be slightly asymmetrical when we're done. Whatever. A dot and a dot. Get it in here. Make sure the glue is on both sides. Rip it over. And then here we are. I'm gonna make sure that this outside corner is where I want it to be. And look at that. I don't even have to work to get it to line up with our other middle piece. That's where it wants to be. I'm gonna let it be. There it goes. And then a little bit of glue in here. A little dot. And a little dot. Make sure they meet. I got a bigger splooge there, but again, I'm gonna like press the edges together. And that's going to form, like, the glue that is splooged out is just going to form a nice little bead. And once it cools, we'll slice it off. All good. It's all good. Look at this. We've got a shape. Not the most intriguing shape on the world, but, I mean, it's a shape. A shape that was not made out of foam before, and now it is. Okay. And once this is cool, yeah, cool. I'm just gonna slice it off. Perfect. Look at all these corners. Look, like all the spots where all these corners meet come out so nice. I don't know. Am I the only one who is so impressed by how nicely this comes out with so little effort? Look at that. Just a bunch of flat pieces of foam. It's... how close are we still? I mean, that's still pretty close. It wants to sit up a little bit high, but again, we got the basic shape in there. And we're going to be able to keep adjusting as we go. None of these are really... like, even if you really screwed up, you can come back here with a knife and just slice these back open and redo it. Like, we're not even doing anything strictly permanent at this point. I don't want to redo things. Yeah, I would prefer to do things the once and be done. But if you really screw up, you can undo. Okay, so then now we have like the very top of the skull, right? Very top part is done. So now I kind of want to do like this next ring around. Oops. So maybe we start at the front again. I think we're gonna do these two panels right here. And that's gonna come from piece I again, right? Yeah, 58 right here. So I'm just gonna cut this. We're gonna do it twice. And again, it's kind of it's an almost symmetrical looking shape. We're gonna have to be a little bit careful about not getting our two pieces mixed up, but I think we'll be fine. Boom. Maybe we'll do 4 at once. I'll cut out this piece too. That's just this piece over here. Almost. Almost. Gimme. There we go. Ah. More pieces. Like this? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Okay. Keep myself organized here. Okay. And I'm gonna flip. Okay. What's smarter here? Maybe like this. Trying to give myself space. I don't want to get too close to those other edges because it gets weird to cut, but I also don't want to be wasteful, right? I guess I'm gonna mark this as L. Very lightly. There we go. Just to make sure I don't get confused. And I did do that right? I didn't... Yeah, okay. So yeah. Maybe they're easier to tell than I thought, but... Better safe than sorry, I suppose. How do you... Fish? I don't know. Yeah. That's right side up. And we'll do this. It's fine. A little crooked there. these pieces kind of get bendy as I chop them. And if I'm being diligent, I guess we want to make sure that they all they're all flat. They don't introduce their own little curves to things, but you know, as foam kind of does what it wants anyway. Okay, now we have our main piece. We have this is gonna go like this, right? Looking with our piece. And then this goes here. That means this goes here. And this goes here. Alright, so that goes there, and that goes there. That's all we're doing. Do I want to put these together first? How do I do this? I think I'm gonna do this piece to here and this piece to here on just these edges, and then I'll do this edge last. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna flip everything at once. I'm gonna flip. No, I want to do... This is why keeping things in order. Like that. So important. Yeah. Like that. Let's do here. We'll do a dot. And a dot. Lining up my corners. I'm gonna prefer the middle corner, because like my outside corner here is a tiny bit off, but I'm gonna favor the middle line. Get those kind of tacked in place. I'll do this here so we can get, you know, vaguely in the right neighborhood. Probably fine. And same thing here. And make sure all my glue's touching. Clearly there's some splooging through because I touched it on through the other side. That's fine. Get this all nice and lined up here. There. Perfect. Yeah, and that's staying put. And then I'm gonna do the same thing in this the midline here. Because everything's still flexible, it allows me to kind of pull things apart, shove some glue in there, and then it just springs back together. Look at that. I barely gotta do anything. I'm gonna make sure they meet up nicely. A little bit of pressure inwards. Hey. How about that? And then same thing. Right? Is it? No, that's not right. It's like this. And then same kind of deal. I'm gonna do this line and get it in, and then we'll do this one afterward. I think it's right. You all touching. Everyone all friendly in there. And then yeah, like this outside corner here, it's peeking out a tiny bit, so I'm going to put in a little bit of pressure. And get it close. And it's going to end up, you know, squishing this corner in here, but that's fine. I'd rather squish an existing corner than like make a new protrusion. Because even if these corners end up like kind of poking up a little bit, we can also fix that after the fact. We'll just come by afterwards and make sure everything looks to our satisfaction. Yeah, another couple little dots. Dot. Dot. And try to line up these corners. That one ended up a little wonky. I think we're still in good shape here. This is also... Are we? Up here. So like this face will meet with the face, but this face is just doesn't actually meet with anything. Part of the weird little hole on the sides. It only gotta be so precise to start with. Now we do have a little bit of a pucker in this corner, but honestly, it might just be fine. I can kind of push it down a little bit. When we come back through and do all the reinforcing glue, we'll do the parts that we're less confident about first. I'll end up putting like a big glob of glue right here, and I'll kind of manipulate the top part to make it look what we want it to look like as the glue sets. And then the glue will help it stay where we want it to be. I think that will be fine. And then we got one more piece over here. Just doing this. Haven't even gone through a full glue stick yet. But we will. This is the less glue intensive part of things. That. Flip. And trim. These is not playing too nice. Oh, here we go. That I think it's fine. They're gonna bump up against each other and kind of shove each other, but they'll, on average, shove each other into the right place. This is an exercise in regression to the mean. None of these parts are gonna be perfect, but all their imperfections are gonna be in different directions, right? So in theory, they'll just kind of average each other out. Yeah. We get two more little dots. One right here. And one right here. There we go. There's some hot stuff back there. Don't get your fingers in it. Look at us. Look at us making a thing. Already been 2 hours, my goodness. But yeah, I mean, you can see we're making decent progress here, but it is also a holding process. So this is like definitely the more time intensive part of it, right? We're doing the part where we actually make the mask. So yeah, it takes a minute. Part of our, I guess technically, if you want to be technical about it, then you would do it like this, right? This is how it would actually line up. Because we're taking our piece of paper and we're putting it and we're tracing it onto here, and then we're cutting away from it. So our outside face here, yeah, our pattern pieces correlate to this outside face. So technically, if we want things to meet up perfectly, it would be like in here. And if I do that, I can see that it fits. It's quite snug in there. That's pretty dang close. But for like individual angles, lining things up on the outside is fine. But yeah, there's the top of our skull cap. And then I think next we're gonna come down and do probably like these three. Do these three on this side, and those three on that side, and then we'll just have the back here. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab myself some water. But yeah, I will be right back. Here's where we're at so far. Look at that. Okay, I'll be right back. I have returned. Alrighty, moving right along. So then well, these are definitely from I. I think this might be from L. No, it's probably from K. Oh, come on. I is just this big piece. Oh yeah, no, like it kind of goes under. I think that's fine. We do want to be careful with our overlapping area in here. There are a couple of slight modifications that we're going to make as we do that, but I think this face, I here, comes down to here. And I think that is fine. I think that's fine. The main thing is like this piece right here. This is the part that will take some special consideration, but I think for right now, I think we're good. And if not, then we'll chop off a piece later. Who cares? Okay. There's I, and then it was like, right. Now we're looking for L, maybe? For 57. So 57, 30, and then the other 30 maybe on a different piece. But I want this triangle here. I'm getting into my cardboard here. Whatever. And then I'm looking for. Piece is that? Is that L? No, I'm just on L. So it must be either K or N. $42. No, it's got to be L. L, where are you? There you are. No, we were just on L. I mean N. My goodness. Oh. Okay. A has 48, 30, 42. Yeah, okay. I want this piece. I want this piece on K. Right? Right. Eh, probably not oriented the same. Whatever, this is what I want. This is why having the piece assembled is so nice. Like, I'm just matching, like, I know I want a piece that has 42, 30, 48. 42, 30, 48. The piece I want. That's all I'm doing. Other piece. I have a random piece here. Oops. And fork on. Probably wearing out my blade. This is from before. This is from. Oh, that's that piece. Okay, yeah, we don't need that piece. We want. I want this piece. This piece goes here, and this piece goes here. Yeah, I'm gonna cut out both halves of those. I've made a mess down here. How does this fit? Maybe do one of these. Okay. Maybe. here. Put other pieces in here. I think that'll. Markers holding up so far. Also bought a 3-pack, so I guess I'm probably fine. Whoops. I would love it if this marker just survived. Okay. I can squeeze this in here. This. Like this. And then our little triangles. I guess that's... Okay. I'm gonna say this is L, because it is. I'm gonna make... I got 2 numbers on it, so I'm gonna do a little mark there, and a little mark there. I'm gonna flip it. And cut over here. And I want, so it's going to be, right, this mark and this mark. Okay, and then now we have some cuts to make. Hooray. What? So now this is a little tricky with these inside corners here, but I think we're fine. I think I cut into the piece a tiny bit, but that's also fine. I mean, don't go nuts, obviously, but I think that's okay. Also remembering that there's a corner here. It almost doesn't look like a corner. There. Here's one. But I found a marker that shows up well on camera. You can actually see what I'm doing. When I gave up on the Sharpie with the deer mask, I could not find a marker that was up to the task at the time. So what I ended up doing was, instead of marking with like a marker or, you know, any kind of writing utensil, I actually traced around the pattern pieces with a hobby knife very lightly to kind of make a little score in the surface of the foam. And then I traced that with the scissors. And it worked, you know, I got a product out of it, but you would not be able to see what I was doing on stream if that's what I was doing right now. So, hooray markers. Yeah. You'll see, like, especially when you have to cut like an inside corner like this, when you're cutting, you know, your scissors are contacting the surface of the foam a bit further out than the actual cut that you're making, right? So my scissors are making marks on my foam piece here. I think it's fine. Even just kind of manipulating it like this, I can get most of it to come back out. To the point where that's not going to show up through the vinyl. I think that's fine. It probably won't even show up through the Plastidip, honestly. Which is a whole conversation we will have at some point, but I want to get all this done first. Got a little... it's fine. So there's that, and then this is fine. This is also fine. Looks fine. This is fine. Nothing here. But yeah, I think we're fine. So. Oh, we're making decent time. I don't think we're gonna. Well, we might get through the skull today. It'd be nice to wrap up with a whole piece. We'll see how quickly this comes together, though. We're getting some good pieces here. Okay, so then if we're doing our left side, we want to do these 3 pieces. Gonna be, well, like 57, 57, 30 is there. So we want that. It's this piece. And I know we want our left piece, right? And then here's our two lines, so they go with those 2 numbers, so that goes there. And then, and what? And then this piece. I put these over here. And then I'm gonna start with the front. I'm gonna do this nice big one right here. Let's start with that. This might get 3 dots. We're gonna just do a little middle dot there, just because it's so long. Mush it around a little. Flip back over. Mush it all together. Is this angle correct? I have no idea. Let's see. A little harder to judge, isn't it? Just gonna kind of eyeball it. We're about there. Good enough for these initial tack points, I think. And this piece only goes here. Maybe what I'm gonna do... Maybe I'm gonna do this piece first. And then the triangle fills in that gap. Alright, I'm gonna do corner to corner, push it around, flip it over, like kind of this big void here. So I'm gonna push. Think. But cheat this up a little bit. Because our corner here, this is our corner from earlier. It's out a little bit. So this piece is gonna cheat in a little. But I think that's fine. And then as we do this edge, I'm gonna like really shove it in there to make sure it actually closes that gap. But if there is still a gap when we're done, when it's all dried, then the hot glue will kind of fix it. There we go, yeah. I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, close it as much as you can. Within reason, I guess. If you're severely warping the whole thing to do so, then don't go nuts, but we can get here. There. That's not too bad. Definitely not perfect, but it's not too bad. Okay. Now, we just do the triangle. Alright, 5730. I think, so our 2 lines are going to be these 2. Again, like there's some weirdness going on up there, but again, I'm just gonna... We're gonna shove it and call it good.
Okay, let's move it.
Right. Yep, still good. In there. Okay. And I'm just gonna kind of muscle it. Yeah, so there's 5 pieces meeting here. Only 2 of them are actually edges. There's like It's 2 edges and then 3 corners coming right together, so it does get a little bit weird in there, but I think it's so weird we can work with. And I'll do this other side. And line it up. Here it's all loose touching both sides. Now squeeze. Squeeze and push and manipulate. It will all be okay. Yeah, that's fine. See, it's fine. All good here. Do the same thing on the other side. Starting to look like a thing, isn't it? Got a whole thing going on here. Okay, so then now we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna have, I guess it's gonna be like this, right? However, I guess I can look over here. Yeah, maybe that's easier. We got those 2 up that way. This work? This is 7. $30, yeah. Right? Because that's 30, yeah. And that goes like that. Then the same kind of deal. I'm gonna start with this piece. Right, that's symmetrical. I'm doing it right still. Gonna put in another glue stick. I do 3 dots. Line up my corners, smoosh my glue, line up the top side. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball symmetrical here for the angle. Wood. Here are my glue sticks. They're under here. Okay, and then one thing I'm gonna do. This piece is like this, right? Yeah, it's like this. Yeah. Okay. That's symmetrical. Yeah. And I'm absolutely double and triple checking everything before I actually put glue to surfaces. You don't want to have to, once the glue is applied, you don't want to have to be thinking about things. You want to know exactly what you're doing as you're after you're putting down glue. I don't want to put down a hot glue and be like, oh, is this left or is it right? Is it upside down? Where am I? That's how you screw things up. Here, and the top side. Rings of hot glue everywhere. And last piece, now that our two little marks go up, Oop. And then around. It's just up in there. Stay. Stay. Kind of intentionally keeping my dots, my little tack dots, away from the points, because we're gonna want to kind of fiddle with those as we secure everything. Don't want to get them too secure quite yet. Mostly just all these edges. This one I can tell my line isn't straight, so I have a bit of a gap here. But I'm just gonna smush. I'm gonna push them together. Look at us. Look at this. Look at this. We're getting there. Can we finish this part today? Maybe not finish. Maybe we'll get it all tacked together. I want to get all the pieces. Clean up a couple little sploogey bits. Look at that. Don't mind me, I'm just being impressed with myself. Ah. Getting those pieces. Now, got this whole front chunk done, right? Now I want to come to the back. Now let's do some of the back. I think I want to do, I guess, this whole row right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do all 5 of these pieces. So this is mostly N and M, maybe L. Okay, here's N. So we definitely want this piece and this piece. 1, 2, 3, and I guess it's just that triangle, so that's gonna be on L. Right, that's 34, 42, 34, 42, cool. That's that. That, and then L. Yeah. Perfect. So then we're gonna do that. Plus these two on this side. So that's 5 pieces. This one first, so I remember that I just need the one. Also with this like real thin tip out here, I'm going to make sure I give myself plenty of room around the piece. Trying to crowd things in there too much will start to make things wonky. Oh. Oh, come on. Okay. And we want 2 of these. Do this, can I do that? Yeah, let's look at. Oops. I'm going to mark these 2 sides. This is our L. And flip. And our sides are, right, we got this side. Okay. Ended up a little fat at the tip there, but it's fine. Didn't mean to just fling that. Hello, hello, hello. How is it going? Made progress. Look at my progress. Okay, I'm here now. I've been watching you on mute for 2 hours. I saw a lot of cutting. That's fair. I mean, that's what I've been doing. Hopefully, whatever you've been working on has been good, I guess. Chill. Project is mostly cutting and gluing. But it's all cut in straight lines. There isn't a single curved line in this whole thing. Just getting funky with angles. A football custom database with finding bugs and finding images, researching, etc. Cool. Are you making something from scratch, or is this like a collaborative project? Football's one of those sports where like every stat exists, right? Like people are keeping track of every single breath people are taking on the field. Not that I know anything about sports statistics. I find sports statistics interesting in a math standpoint, more so than a sports standpoint. Like I occasionally get recommended YouTube videos about the most ridiculous statistical thing that happened in baseball ever. And I'm like, oh, neat. I don't care about the, like, it's cool because it's like statistically cool, but like the baseball is like completely secondary. I don't dislike sports, I just... It's not my main squeeze, that's all. For Football Manager, I'm like the lead person on it. I have a friend building the database. He was doing it on Twitch tonight. Another person is making kits for all 90 teams. Holy cow. There are a few others doing research for me, like finding nicknames of teams which have tiny followings. Interesting. And I was spending 4 hours looking for photos of all the stadiums. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I'm surprised that there isn't like a database of that nature already. Like, I'm surprised you have to assemble that. But that's the internet for you, right? It's the information's all there, just good fucking luck finding it in a useful manner. Okay, we got 5 pieces. We're gonna do, we got our middle piece, right? Middle. Then we have this piece, which goes like that. Like that and that. We have this piece goes like this. So like that, and then like that. So these teams exist in real life, but they are tiny, so not in the game. We were adding it in. Oh, okay. How far are you with this phase of craft? We're getting in it. I'm working on, so like when we made the paper craft part, there was kind of 2 halves. There was the skull half and there was the face half. And I'm reaching towards the end of the skull half. I would like to finish, I'd like to get all the skull pieces in today. And then next time we can do the face parts. Like, look at this. We got a bunch of pieces here. It's coming together, I think. It'll start coming together pretty quickly. IMO. Yeah, so then I'm gonna do this middle piece first. Right, I'm just gonna go like that. This might be easier. A little dot. And a little dot. Probably could have been a little more glue, but that's fine. Yeah. Settle there. Cool. This goes up in the corner, right? Yeah. I think I'm gonna do these top 2 edges first, and then we'll do this long edge. Might even get all, like, both side pieces in first before I do the long edges. I'm just gonna do 1 dot on each of these little faces. Mush it in. Oops. Come on. Flip. Yeah. Pull up. Essentially where it's gonna go. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna do this other side. Jump over here. Same thing. A little dot. 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 Shove it. Right in there. Okay. Up. Sure these things line up. Go. Cool. Now these three should kind of just come together. It's a shame there's no craft category. I know, right? Yeah, I didn't really know what to categorize this as. I mean, I'm okay with this also just being a just chatting stream. I'm definitely just here chatting with myself. But if someone showed up and had questions, I would totally chat with them. And smoosh. Line it up. I feel like if I put this in the art category, people will be like, why aren't you drawing? This is an art. I don't know if this is what people think of when they think art. There's so many amazing artists on Twitch. My god. Mostly people drawing or painting themselves. Yeah, totally. And they're all good at it. Okay. Corners lined up. Cool, so there's the back little bit. I want to do these triangles, right? So this is our left side, and our 2 points are going to go up. Perfect. Look at that. It just fits. It just works. Whoops. Get a little tacky. I got some more cleanup to do, but that's fine. Line up these corners. Perfect. I'm covered in hot glue strings. You'd think I took a bath in a bunch of mozzarella sticks or something. Whoop. Oh, that's a good splooge. But again, I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm going to let it dry. And we'll fix it afterwards. So let me see if I can remember, is this the mold you're making? No, this is the mask itself. We are making the mask. This is not a mold making process. This is our mold. You coat it? Yeah, we do coat it. That's definitely another part. Yeah. We're gonna plastidip, but it's a rattle can. It's a spray-on thing. So we're gonna make this whole thing out of foam, and then we're gonna use a can. It's called plastidip. It's a product that exists in a couple different formats. So like you can get it as like just a tub essentially, and you actually dip things into it. But that's like way overkill for our purposes, I think. Also, I don't know if I could actually locate that. I can find the can of plastidip at our grocery store, because it has like a hardware section. But like much more intense than that. I think you'd have to probably like special order it or something. But also it's completely unnecessary. This is the inside basically, essentially. But this is like the plastidip is going to be just a thin coating. Like the foam is seriously 95% of the mask itself. We're gonna have a thin coat on top of plastidip, and then we're gonna put vinyl on top of that, and that's the whole thing. But like this is like the inside of this part, the inside of the inside. This is gonna be the part like you're actually contacting the inside of your head, basically. But like the whole thickness, like we're not going to be adding much thickness to the mask itself. It's mostly going to be this 5mm foam, and then, you know, a hair thicker than that. I'm telling you, it's so simple. It's deceivingly simple. I won't be able to do like the plastidip part. I don't think I can do on stream. It's gonna be like, I'm gonna do that out on the porch. Maybe I'll try to capture a clip of it or something, but it's really just, yeah, spray it, right? So maybe if we get this part done, maybe I'll plastidip this part between streams, and we'll have that to compare as we make the second half. Well, maybe. One question is, do we want to plastidip each half separate and then glue them together, or do we glue it all together and then spray the whole thing all at once? I might have to give that some consideration. But like all our shape, all our structure, the mask itself is coming from this step right here. All foam and hot glue. And math. Math that someone else did for us. Math that someone else made a computer do for us. I think more realistically. Look at that. And it's, come on, stay together. And we are just kind of tack gluing everything still, so once everything's together, we'll be able to go back and kind of, like as we fill in these channels on the back, we'll be able to kind of smush things together a little bit. So things aren't in their final placement, but this is where our shape is coming from. But yeah, I mean, look at that. It already looks so clean and geometric, doesn't it? Like, oop. It's got a lot of flex in it still. It's going to keep kind of moving around as we add pieces, and it's just going to take its shape like the papercraft did, except there's no tabs. It's just a bunch of hot glue. Yeah. So we'll set these 3 pieces aside. Now, I'm now I think we're coming along this bottom part. Yeah. I think I want to do these two pieces here and here. Yeah, so this hash part and then the big L. Do that on both sides, and then we'll just have these four on the back, and then that's the skull. Yeah, let's see if I can crank this out real quick. It'd be cool to wrap up a big piece at the end of the stream, right? So I need piece L at the very least. Oh, they're both right here. Okay, so it's just these two pieces. What I want. I was gonna double check that I'm not getting a bunch of Discord messages that I can't ignore, since my phone is unusable. Now we're good. Okay. Everything's good. Cool. So now I just want to make 4 of these. Getting into our foam too. Like this is just I cut off a third of our sheet. I've used maybe half of this chunk. Now I know what's been missing in my life. I could spend hours upon hours watching this, but sadly I have to go to bed. Make sure I'll hang out another day. Cool, yeah. Yeah, nice to hear from you. But yeah, absolutely. If you want hours and hours of this, then that's what I got for you. All of this is going to show up on the YouTube. All of my VODs show up on their YouTube place. But yeah, come back next Monday and I'm going to pick up right here. Good to have you around. Because for real, this is a thing, like even this specific piece, I'm making this for my partner. I want to do this. I'm gonna do this either way. Whether or not anyone watches, I'm just here to do the thing. I want to jinx it, but this marker is perfect. Even if it died now, I'd be so happy with it. I was joking when I said I was off to bed. How could I leave this? That's fair. How could you deceive me? I've been swindled. But also I've done the exact same thing. Tell someone I'm just lurking and then like chat the whole time. Like 2 a.m. in Sweden? Oh, geez. If you stay up late enough, it stops mattering, right? Those corners are kind of a hard one, so I get a little pokey bit, but I think it's fine. You had me at I'm doing this either way. Love for the craft really shines through. What's matters for me? Perfect. I like to hear it. Yeah, I mean, I like doing the thing. I like making things with my hands that look neat. I think we got a good recipe here. It really helps that I have a lot of confidence in this right now because I've essentially done this exact same process already once. I was a lot less confident the first time I did it. But now that I know what I'm doing, I am unstoppable. Live with this, it's all your fault. JM is responsible for a lot of the stuff that goes on here. JM and Frank, really. Mika is making the database, and I sent a screenshot and accidentally had your stream on the screenshot, so here we are. Excellent. Honestly, I really need to get bed, but I wish I could stay longer. I'll make sure to tune in next Monday. Perfect, yeah. I won't be going too much longer. I'm just going to finish up this big piece. We're going to do like another row around the backside here, and then I'm going to call it a day. And then next Monday, we're going to start on the face. We're going to do the exact same thing for a whole nother stream. We're going to do the beaky part. But yeah, tune in for that. Accidentally, you know exactly what my weakness is. Didn't have you down as being into this. I've been plugging Unchatter, but obviously to the wrong people. Hilarious. I mean, obviously I'm doing something right if you can accidentally send someone a screenshot and intrigue someone, so I'll take that as a compliment. Okay. 4 more pieces. So this goes like... What does this go? Oh, because this is like our 2-layered bit, right? So I cut out the bottom part, so there's a number here, but I guess it goes that way. It goes that way. And then this goes this way. Yeah. Here's that, and then that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna do kind of like we've been doing. I'm gonna do this long part first. Oop. Oh, well, okay. Just come back in. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Need some smushing here a bit. This is a pretty shallow angle, looks like. Okay. Front bit. Okay. Oh, that was a splooge. Well, this corner to play nice. It don't want to, but I'll just shove it till it works. That was a big splooge, but we'll fix it. And then same thing here. I'm gonna do the long one first. The strings, they're everywhere. Sure, they don't show up on camera, but rest assured, I am covered in hot glue right now. Okay, and then we're just gonna close together. Do, 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 do. Oh, oh, stick. Until this is, like, I'm having to hold it here until the glue holds. So obviously we're putting tension on other pieces somewhere, but that's also fine. It will find its shape. Alright, yep. Looks good to me. This side. thing. Right? You do like this. Perfect. On. Just stay put. All you gotta do. Getting too fancy. Just do one at a time. Just do one at a time. Okay, and then got this, which is what? This? Like that, yeah. Come on. Stick, dang it. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna just do these last 4 pieces, right? Yeah, we got 4 little pieces that are gonna go right here, and we're gonna call it a day. Done. A whole dang chunk. I'm so bad for not letting stuff stick properly. I know, right? You do have to be a tiny bit patient. The hot glue is like the fast way to do this. I'm pretty sure. A lot of people, when they do an end still. there. When you see a lot of people talk about doing foam stuff just in general, a lot of people do contact cement because they're doing things slightly differently. You know, they're actually, like, we don't have a whole lot of actual gluing surface in here, right? We're just gluing like the two tops of the surface together and then filling in that channel with glue. But a lot of people will have, you know, like flat to flat contact for a lot of like big flat pieces that they then shape with a heat gun. They'll use contact cement, and that takes a minute to cure. My goodness. I would much rather do hot glue and then just be done with it. Especially when you're doing a million of these things, and you can't move on to the next one until one's done. Like, if you could do them all in parallel, it'd be whatever, but... There we go. Let go. Go. Even just grabbing this and like moving it around, I can already tell how nice and solid it is. It already has such a nice shape to it. I'm so happy. So far this is working out exactly as I intended. I guess all the tricky stuff happens. Well, this is a tricky step. This is probably the fiddliest bit. See, look, we can fit this like way the heck over here. Perfect. Oops. And then this. Minecraft music, damn, tugs my emotions. I know, right? It's just so good. Very good. I want to see, like, this is basically a square, right? I definitely want to keep track of this. Or just like top and bottom. Sorry. Mark. Mark. No. Vaguely trapezoidal, I think. Then our bottom, up, and bottom, then we're good. Take. Do I want to chop that off? Cool. This is cut. So, now we're back here. And 35 goes like that. 7 like that. Yeah. Here's our L. Right. Is it? No, G is. Gotta be this way. Yep. And then that way. Okay, cool. Or yes. 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 This goes here. Cool. There's a little gap between these two, but I'm just gonna smush them. Gonna be a lot of smushing in here. Oh, that needs to come up a little bit too, doesn't it? That should be fine. Cool. And then, yeah, let's do this bottom part. Do the long edge first. I could have just done one dot there, but I did two. Whatever. Shit in there. Okay, then the other side. All these strings everywhere. Okay, so then this looks like this. It means it's this way, and this flips like this way. Right, right. I'll do this top edge. I'm gonna do the middle seam last once I have all 4 pieces in there. Oh! Ow! I burned myself, and now I need more glue there. I just glued my knuckle hair. Go. And there's some overflow, but again, whatever. Fix that after it's dry. Look after yourself? I mean, it wasn't, not a burn, but like I did get myself. Fortunately, hot glue isn't too hot. So it's uncomfortably warm glue. Okay, that's fine. Okay, then this piece goes like that. That. Wish. One big dot on this side. Ow, 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 ow. I'm trying to make sure that this bottom edge itself doesn't have any real protrusions, like making sure it all kind of lines up on the bottom edge, since this is like the bottom of the mask itself. So anything too uneven out here, so it'll make the vinyl kind of sit weird. Okay, now we just have these two right here. I'm gonna start with the top part. And do a dot. And a dot. And we look at that come together. And this last little bit down here. In there? There we go. Oop, ow. Cool. And then that's all of the pieces for the skull part. Look at that. Look at that. There's still a little bit of work here to do. There's still we got some splooges to clean up, and then we'll come back in and do the reinforcing glue on the inside. But we're just gonna do that next time. I'm a little bit over of my time here. But, I mean, look at this. We made this in under 4 hours. We've gone from a piece of flat foam and a bunch of pattern pieces that aren't meant for this, and we've made this. We've conjured this out of thin air. And that's where we're at. It's got some good flexibility in here, because obviously all these are just tacked together. But it's sturdy. Like I can tug on it, and pieces aren't popping apart. This is all, it's coming together. Looks very cool. Excellent. I think so. I love how, like, even just, like, you can see all the lines, right? I still have, like, a little bit of the silver from tracing out our pattern pieces. So you can see all the geometric lines on it, and it's great. I think it's great. Let's go over to the other desk real quick, and we will close this out. Alright, yeah, okay. Everything's here. We're all still good. Cool. Cool. We did the thing. Look at this. Look at this. And you can see it on this camera. We got our front side. The eyes kind of go right in here. Here's the back side. Kind of goes like this. It's like a Magneto helmet right now. Looks like I have mind powers. But it fits. I mean, look at that. It's so comfortable already. I don't know the actual angle it's gonna sit at, but like the ears are like fully uncovered. It's not squeezing, but it's like snug. That's good. It's good. Do you want it? Jezebel wants a mask too. I don't know how I would scale one down for a cat. That's a question for a different day, isn't it? Anyway, we've done the thing. We've done this part of the thing. This is part 2, or part 1 of part 2, I guess. So come by next week, and we're gonna do the face part. We're gonna do the rest of this step. And we'll also clean this up a bit. You can see, maybe I can show you a little bit better over here. How would I do such a thing? You can see just little bits where the glue kind of splooged up between them, and I'm just going to come by with a hobby knife and just slice it right off, and it's going to work out fine. And then we're going to do a bunch of reinforcement gluing back in here. You can see all those little troughs in there. They're just going to fill the whole thing up with glue. And that's where all the stability is going to come from. So yeah, we'll do cleanup and reinforcement gluing on this piece, and then we will work on the face part. I don't know if we'll get fully done with it next week. I mean, I'm going to try. It'd be cool if I could get fully done with the face part next week, and then I would plastic dip between streams, and then the 4th stream would just be putting on the vinyl. And that's like it. That and the strap. That's the whole thing. We are already a really good chunk into this. We've done half of the hard part already. Like, I'm serious. This is so deceivingly simple. And I'm happy. I mean, I'm already so happy with this. This is coming out exactly as I expected to, so I think we're on the right track. Hooray! Come by on Thursday. We're gonna keep playing Dwarf Fortress in our silly, our silly fortress. And then come by on Saturday. I don't know what we're gonna do on Saturday. What do we want to do on Saturday? Come up with ideas for Saturday. We don't have a Saturday game right now, but we're gonna play something on Saturday. And then yeah, next Monday we're gonna keep going on this, and that's all I got for you. Check out the VODs are all going onto the Reach Outer channel. So if you ever want to like come back and craft along with something like this, all the VODs are going to be there. I'm probably going to edit this down into like a shorter how-to-ish kind of a deal for the main channel as well. So keep an eye out for that, but obviously that'll happen after the whole thing's done. But yeah, I didn't do my sponsor thing. I've been lacking, haven't I? Let me do this real quick. I can just do this. Oh yeah, of course. Today's episode brought to you by Lightning. And it's even like, it's too big even. Lightning, but too big. What today's stream has been brought to you by. But also by you, obviously. All you lovely people hanging out here, chatting and just watching and lurking. All that good stuff. Don't forget to thank Lightning. Yeah. Lightning brings you a lot of stuff, doesn't it? But by all y'all hanging out here, pressing all those buttons down there, there's some buttons down in that direction that are helpful for me, if you don't mind, and yeah, I will see you all around. Don't forget to stay kind.